All right, we've got a great segment here, a Dear John letter to President Obama. One private business owner threatening in a New York Times ad to close his highly successful business if president's tax plan happens. Here to explain the ad, Norman Lizt, founder and president of La Jolla Cove Investors. And let me show you the ad right here. It's called Why This Fat Cat Likes the Obama Tax Plan. All right, I thought this was fascinating, Norman. This caught my eye, and at first I thought you were serious, that you really liked Obama's tax plan, because that's the way it starts out, but that's not really true. What are you trying to say here?
Well, Gerri, I wouldn't deny that it's not true. There is a point of truth to it. I am a compulsive individual. I've been trained and highly trained in the investment sphere. I try to do my best doing it. And it's very hard for me to break away. I really do need an outside excuse to do it. He has provided it.
How so?
By running on a platform of not only eliminating George Bush's tax cuts, but a 3.8% tax to cover part, and a very small part, of Obamacare. And that's going to be on all investment income, as you know. And in addition to that, there's going to be phase out of deductions. And in addition to that, Jerry Brown has seen fit to raise the California rate, I believe, to 12% or higher. I will be at a 57% marginal rate of taxation.
Wow.
And furthermore, Jerry, when I'm asked to pay those 57% taxes, I'm going to have it whispered in my ear. And don't forget, Norman, you didn't build this. We're responsible.
Wow. Well, that's a long list. And a lot of people out there say that the business community is stymied now because they don't know what's going to happen with taxes, and they're fearful of exactly everything you just outlined. Tax-mageddon. Your effective tax rate, what did you say, 56%, almost 60%? Can you do business that way as a practical matter?
Well, you can, Gerri, and a number of people feel that the top line is going to remain the same. It's only going to affect an individual's bottom line. But, you know, Gerri, there comes a point, especially in my life, where you must scratch your head and say, is this worth it anymore? I mean, I've worked very hard for most of my life, and as Miss Rachel says, it's time to start smelling the roses and doing what we love to do, which is travel.
Wow. Well, you know, I'm wondering what kind of reaction you've got from your friends when they saw this. Are people calling you up and saying, right on, we agree with you?
Well, my friends are saying that, but, you know, I did run this ad in the New York Times. My natural base, my natural home, so to speak, is the Wall Street Journal. And as a result, out of the 100 emails that I've gotten, a good portion of them are against what I have to say. I mean, people just can't fathom that somebody in my position would turn off the spigot and not make whatever he could make, even if it's a lower amount of money, and just keep raking it in.
Well, you also make the point, which I think is critical, frankly, that the charitable donations stop too if you shut down your business.
I didn't say they'd stop, Gerri. They will be at an amount that's perhaps half as much as they could have been if I keep going. And that means a lot to me. I mean, part of the reason I ran the ad is not just to demonstrate that high tax rates turn off the wealthy, but that the amount of class warfare that's going on by the folks in Washington against Mitt Romney, against a lot of the wealthy, is just very frightening to me, and I think it has to stop. And I tried to demonstrate that a lot of the wealthy, and I would include Mitt Romney as well, do very commendable things with their money, and these people should not be held down. They should be supported.
Like hire people, provide them with health insurance, give money away to charities, pay their taxes. They hire people who pay. There's a long list out there, and
especially the charities, Gerri.
Absolutely. Norman, thanks for coming on tonight. Absolute pleasure to talk to you. Fascinating ad. Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Gerri, thank you for having me.
All right. Also today, a new study shows states with the least religious residents are also the least generous. The Chronicle of Philanthropy found residents in states where religious participation